your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Oh, hay's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Force of evil plans to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love and please you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Oh, hay's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. You know it's sing along. Oh, love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Ooh, hay's gone round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Thank you.
Please join me in prayer. We know that there is only one perfect life, and that life is God. That life permeates all creation and becomes what it loves. And that's each and every one of us and everyone on planet Earth and in the universe as individualized expressions of that life through whom all expression flows. We're so grateful for the opportunity to come together here and recognize our oneness and to close out our month on the discussion of love. I know that everyone here is an expression of love in their own unique way. I know that love is everywhere and it's at the center of everything and makes everything whole. I give thanks for everyone who's come together to make this service possible today and for all who are here to celebrate my oneness in this space. I give thanks for all those who will hear this message later and for everyone everywhere as expressions of the divine and just wonderful people to come in contact with, to love and serve, and recognize our oneness with. I give thanks for all of the beautiful expressions of divine in this space right here, right now, and release these words into that divine law that knows how to mold, make, shape, and create all the good there is, everywhere, all the time. I let this go, I let it be. Together we affirm, and so it is. I've got some wonderful words of inspiration from Ernest Holmes, our wonderful founder. What a brilliant man he was. Our first affirmation, or first quote from him, he says that love is the self-givingness of God, distinct from the notes love quotes, anchors, and co-creative theme. Second quote, God can do for us only as we will allow him to do through us. And thirdly, it would be wonderful indeed if a group of persons should arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing. So good to see you all. We've been talking in the month of June about a higher, deeper love and what that means. In week one, we started our journey with I want to know what love is, and that was inviting us to see beyond romance and embrace discomfort and joy, recognizing every experience and ourselves is love. Second week, we talked about being made. I was made to love you, and that challenged us to see how our interrelationship with love impacts our every connection. And we question actively how we're showing up as love in the world as individuals. Last week, Dr. David asked the question, what's love got to do with it? Everything, absolutely everything. And we considered our interconnectedness and brought awareness to our wounds and our trauma and everything that's taken place in the knowledge that love heals all. So today what we're talking about is, our theme is loveless up where we belong. It invites us to view the world systems through the eyes of love, honoring the paradox of flaws and healing. The path to love calls us individually and collectively to embrace our inherent loving nature and listen from our hearts for our parts to play. So we live in a world that's kind of a crazy place. We see a lot of turmoil. We see a lot of things that are difficult to deal with. And some of those things that are more difficult than anything else are facing the things in ourselves that may show up as shortcomings, where we don't always live up to our own beliefs and our true selves. But love is the antidote. It lifts us up where we belong. We don't have to avoid unpleasantries. And when we come together as a community, we can do a lot of things that we can't do on our own. Love is the rocket fuel for that. Love is that rocket fuel for possibilities. Love is that power that enables us to go in and look at ourselves and look around conditions and not fall into the trap of being overwhelmed by conditions, but by looking beyond those to who we are collectively, who we are as true expressions of the divine, as spirits here in this world, and what can we do together? Love is that thing that empowers us when we're struggling to go to one another. We can lift each other up. God lifts us up. Each and every one of us here is an expression of that divine light. So we lift one another up and remind each other who we are and what it is that we're trying to do in spite of conditions, in the face of all struggle. So Ernest Holmes described love as the self-givingness of God. The outer collective dimension that we're living in means that love isn't just a private emotion. It's something that we share as a collective. It's something that we make efforts to put out into the world in the form of service to other people, in the form of service to one another, in the form of being true to ourselves, being authentic. And authenticity is a unique blend of both courage and vulnerability. It's welcoming those parts of ourselves at home that we might not otherwise want to share for fear of how we're going to look. But we have all of these things. All of these things are a part of reality. When we don't accept reality, we create suffering for ourselves. And so we live in a world that has a lot of challenges. But this is why the Centers for Spiritual Living took up a mission to create a world that works for everyone. Expressions of life. I've got good friends that are out today. They're out at the Pride Parade downtown. We welcome and celebrate all expressions of life because none of us are ugly in the eyes of God. We are demonstrations. Many walking masterpieces. I'm looking at works of art. When I stand in the mirror and brush my teeth, I'm looking at a work of art. When I complain about a person, I'm complaining about some of God's handiwork, therefore saying I know better than God. And I don't know better. I don't know much. In fact, a lot of times when friends ask me, hey, what do you know? I say nothing and I can prove it. I do know that love is that place in the heart where joy is centered. Love can make everything much better. It's co-creative power. When we come together as a community, even when we work with our own thinking, we co-create our lives with God. We have a hand in it. It's important for us to manage our thinking, to manage our emotional state as best we can. Change your thoughts, change your life. That's a message that Ernest Holmes continually gave. And so when difficulty comes, through prayer, through meditation, through spiritual mind treatment is really our favorite tool to work on our thoughts and our emotions. When we're co-creating with the divine, we're bringing about a good life, not just for ourselves, but for other people around us. If our thoughts are in a place that don't serve us, the truth for us is that what we focus on expands. We can actually add to a negative situation if our thinking is not in the place it needs to be. We're at choice. We don't deliberately go out, with the intention to create hardship for ourselves or for others. But the law, the universal law, is indifferent. It doesn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. It takes the direct impress of our thoughts and brings those things forth. So what we have here is a wonderful way of life. We have friends. I have you folks, to remind me to keep my thinking on that plane of love and service, to think more of possibilities. And I think one of the most important things to recognize, I've been listening to a lady by the name of Byron Katie for the last month or so. And there was one statement she made, or a couple of statements that she made. But the overall gist of the book is don't believe what you think. Don't believe what you think. We question, And last month we covered the subject of doubt. And what was clear in the messaging last month when we were talking about doubt is that doubt is not the absence of faith. It's certainty. I know. As long as I know that I know, I will never know. We have to question things. Questioning things is part of our growth. Questioning things helps me step back from judgment. Because all of these old beliefs that didn't serve me before I got here were deeply rooted. You know, every once in a while, those will show up. They'll show up, or I'll have something takes place that triggers something. The TV, if I turn on the TV, it's a shame, you know, you can't turn on the TV without hitting the 24-hour news cycle. And even if I'm not paying attention, if it's playing in the background, something will hook me. And the thing to do is to question it. When I have a negative thought about someone else, when I have a negative thought about myself, is to ask, is that true? Hopefully the answer is no. If it happens to be yes, I ask myself again, can I absolutely know that that is true? My next question will be, what happens or how do I react when I believe that that thought is true? And the fourth question is, who would I be if I didn't believe that that was true? Then I turn it around. You know, some mornings I'm brushing my teeth and I think, I'm too fat. I'm just too fat. How do you love a fat body, you know? Then I have to stop and say, is that true? If I say yes, then it's can I know? Can I absolutely know that that's true? And if I still insist on staying in that place, it's like, okay, how do I react and what happens? Well, what happens is I don't want to leave the house. And I'm kind of a social butterfly. I like to be around people, you know. So if I'm just kind of sitting around, I'm not in the house, I'm not making myself useful. So I can turn that around. I am not too fat. I am traveling in the perfect vessel to express as the divine would have me express. God is love. All that God is, I am an individual expression. I am love. And then I turn to gratitude and thank this vessel that has taken me through hepatitis, has taken me through cancer twice, it's taken me through some other destructive behavior, and I've lived long enough to get my Medicare card in the mail. I've had it for 2 weeks. Guess what? By next weekend, I'll be in the gym, and it won't cost me a penny. And love is what's kept me alive. Love is what's pulled me back from the brink again and again and again. Love is what lifts us out of any darkness. And you know what? Love shows up like some of you, if you want to know what love looks like, go home, take a look in the mirror. This is what love looks like. And there are many others like you everywhere who show up in my life in other areas where I try to be of service. And how can we do a little bit of good today? How can I end suffering for myself and all others that I come in contact with today? Love's our base ingredient. We have an affirmation here. I am consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world. What else are we here for when we think about it? We definitely have our families, but there's way more of us than we might think we need beyond that family. Here's the news flash that I found out. You know, we're all a family. We're all connected. As an act of love, this power that we're dealing with, this power for good in the universe that's greater than we are, that we can use, becomes what it loves. And it decided it wanted to be Babs Nelson. And here she is. It decided it wanted to be each and every one of us. I'm not sure that power decided it would make an album and then hide it from everybody. But here we are in living color. And so we're here to serve each other, to love each other, to be helpful to each other. We're not built to be alone. You know, we're social creatures. We're not separate individuals who happen to share a room. We are one life expressing as many. How about that? That's one thing that Ernest said. And so to recognize, to use love is to recognize what is. And that means seeing present reality not as fixed, but as a current manifestation of thought. And within every situation, the potential for something higher. Looking through love doesn't condone pain or injustice. It acknowledges the condition while impressing a higher truth upon universal law. The higher truth is that we're one. The higher truth is that we are perfect, whole, and complete as divine expressions of that life. Every one of us showing up in ways that only each and every one of us could. The truth is that we're connected. The truth is that that power can only do through us what we allow it to do through us. And there have been a lot of moments and a lot of times I haven't allowed that power to work in my life. There are a lot of people out here who start from a little bit of a broken premise that there's something within them that's incomplete. They've not done things the way they need to do. They need to change their behavior and meet certain conditions to be favorable in the eyes of that one life that made us all in the first place. We're all made from God's substance. And they walk around, and I had done that for large portions of my life, hunched over with all this guilt and shame, thinking that I needed to do something. I wanted nothing to do with God because I was thinking I'm not good enough in the eyes of God. Why would God put me here if I'm this much of a mess? But that's just like saying there's a factory line where every product that comes off of it is goofed up. Every product. Well, God's got some perfect quality control going on. Or as an old friend said many years ago to me, she said, honey, God don't make no junk. Just doesn't do it. Everything is perfect in its own way. Every one of us is perfect by divine design. So it's embracing love and spreading love out in the world, reaching in for that authentic self that empowers us to put that love out. We can do that collectively as a community. There are other groups I'm in. We spread love. Spreading love is what we're here to do because love is all there is. And we've been fortunate enough to embrace that thought here in spaces like this. There are many other spaces, many other faiths, many other ways for people to embrace that. And I love to use the fact that there's over 7,000 written and spoken languages on planet Earth as an example. I actually ran into a guy yesterday. We were sitting around and he was telling his story, and he's an atheist. The man says he's an atheist, and I said, okay, that's acceptable. You're acceptable in the eyes of God. Because here we don't tell people what to believe, like Dr. David says. We just encourage them to believe something. And so in just listening to his story, it was clear how he came to that place. But he is living by spiritual principles. He's living by spiritual principles all the same. But with the languages, the 7,000 languages, I pointed to a tree. I said, okay, well, we've got 7,000 names for a tree. Does using something other than the English version, no matter what you call it, does it change the fact that that's a tree? And so that's how I liken God to him, not trying to convince him of anything, but just explaining where some of the other folks were coming from, you know. And it's good, you know. I actually landed up in another discussion group a little earlier in the day, too, where we were talking about a little book called The Four Agreements. Some of you may have read that. And we were talking about being impeccable in our word and using our word. And the word is law, is spiritual law. When we combine our word with the word, then we can bring things about. We do this with feeling, with faith. We do it with love to create the world that we like to see. So love has a lot of power. We want to use it. We want to use that power. It is available to us. If we can take a loving view of somebody, it's fun to do. So I've been using my Byron Katie questions in the morning after I've had 5 minutes of news. Is it true? Is this true? Is it absolutely true? The most interesting part of it, though, after I've gone through that, is the turnaround. How can I turn things around? Understand that, yeah, I've got some aspects of myself that aren't flattering when I look at them. But it's not because I'm inherently evil. It's because something's not working and I'm not recognizing the truth about who I am. And a lot of people haven't learned that truth. And love says we're who we need to be at this moment in time. We don't have anything that we can do that's going to gain us any brownie points, any extra favor with this power that made us. It became us because it loves us. There's nothing that we're going to do that's going to make God love us more or less. And so that exact nature is built into us. It's part of who we are. It's part of our authentic selves. We have that nature. Here in Science of Mind, we call it Christ consciousness. It's that loving one another as ourselves, loving God above all others and loving our neighbors as we love ourselves, because it's one life. It's one life built out of love. So being outside of love or backing away from love, what we're really doing is backing away from who we are. We're backing away from our true selves when we're not coming from a place of love. It's not absent, you know, we have to remember who we are. And we help one another do that. We do that through meditation. We do that through prayer. We do that through asking questions. We do that by putting one foot in front of the other. There's a Japanese proverb that says, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. And this is what we do here. We can do this together. So the world we long for asks for our participation. So systemic change and mutual aid and reparative practice aren't separate from spirituality. These are spiritual practices. What's mine to do today? How can I put a little bit more love? Because love will lift me up. It'll lift us all up where we belong. And where we belong in the eyes of God is in this world together, hand in hand, without judgment, without any of these things. We belong in a place where love, truth, joy, and peace permeate our existence through and through, ours and everyone else's. Everyone we have an opportunity to come in contact with. So it's about doing what's within my hula hoop. Am I consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world? That doesn't mean I got 2 million followers on YouTube and I'm saying love one another. That might mean smiling at the cashier in the grocery store, leaving a tip for the waitress or the waiter in the restaurant, opening the door from one of my neighbors walking into the leasing office, or just giving a smile to a stranger that looks like they're having a hard time. Now, I'll tell you something that really, if you're in the store, when you use the person's name and you give them a smile, because we're our own favorite subjects, and you say that name with a smile, and you ask them how they are, it seems like such a small thing, but you can watch that person's entire energy shift when you do that. You can watch your neighbor's energy shift. As I'm going down, I smile, I ask people how they're doing. Sometimes people kind of look down and they're walking, but their dogs will pull them over to me, you know. That's how I meet a lot of people in my complex. The dog wants to come visit with me. They're just pulling to get, you know. So, nothing is too small. When it's done with the spirit of love, nothing that you can do is too small. These things are cumulative. They build on one another. And so these collective acts of love are great. All of the work we do here through Kindred Spirits and together with all of these organizations we support, it seems like a small thing. But, you know, one of the places I like to point to is the Second Chance Center. They were very small when they began, and we stuck with them, and we still stick with them. It's grown into something that people are replicating. They're copying it. They're lifting lives up. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples go out. And so these ripples are spreading out. And this is what love would have us do. Every little pebble, every little act of kindness, if we're putting kindness into the world, each and every one of us, when one of us raises our level of consciousness, the level of consciousness of the whole planet increases. So the question is, what's mine to do? Am I consciously co-creating? So the next time you're not feeling just so, ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I putting love into the world? Who am I lifting up? Am I being unkind to myself? Question it. Question it when you want to go there. Question it and then turn it around. Because the truth is that you are perfect, whole, and complete. It's an expression of that divine life that is God. My godson Aaron, who some of you have met, he comes here from time to time. Periodically, he says to me, he says, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, you know, he says that frequently. So I'll remind you of that quote from Ernest. I saw it earlier. It would be wonderful indeed if a group of persons should arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing. Are there any areas of your life where you find yourself fighting people, conditions? Are you fighting with something that's taken place? It's already taken place. The first thing that I need to do if I want to have peace is to accept whatever's going on. Doesn't mean I need to like it. Doesn't mean I need to understand it. I accept it. It is what it is right here in this moment. Feel my feelings and then detach. Detach not with anger or resentment or rancor, but detach with love. And then bring myself back to the moment. A thought like, I need more money. Do I? Right here in this very moment. No, not right in this very moment. My experience has been that no matter how hard things got, whatever I needed showed up. When I need things, they show up. I act with faith. I act with faith and just treat and move my feet. As my teacher Claudine would say, treat and move your feet. We pray, Prayer is powerful. Prayers are not really a secret weapon, but it's what changes things. It's what shifts. All living is about an inner rearrangement, and love is what fuels us. This is the basis of all the inner rearrangements we can make, because it's not conditions, it's not people, it's within us. Where do we look? When can we turn to love? So we're invited by creation, creating lives that work for each other. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to build on that love that we were made out of. And we can put more love into the world, or we can put more of whatever else is out there. Believe me, there's enough of whatever else is out there. It's about what we can put into the world today to make it a little bit better. That starts with being kind to yourself, reminding yourself that you are loved, and that together we can put more love into the world. Because all of our efforts, I don't know if you folks remember the book Holy Moments. We spent a month in the book Holy Moments in 2025. And they had some very interesting spiritual arithmetic in there, so that if one person did something to make things brighter for 3 people, or teach 3 people how to find the blessing in every moment, just 3. Each one of us takes 3. In the space of 7 years, double the population of the earth would be covered. So don't minimize your power. Don't minimize how much Spirit glows through you, how much love you have inside. Don't minimize yourself. Don't shortchange yourself. Know that you are perfect expression. And here's the other thing you want to keep in mind. There's nobody here out of the 8 billion people on planet Earth that can do the job you came here to do. There's no backup plan. So the question is, am I consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world? What's mine to do? I got unlimited power to work with, so I'm going to work with that power. And so it's been a real joy to talk about love here. I'm looking forward to seeing you all here next week as we delve deeper into the children's program. I'm excited about that. When we sat down, we didn't know what we were going to have. But when we work with calm confidence, abiding faith, and absolute trust that Spirit's going to show us a way, things show up. People start showing up. I'm starting to see things show up for us here. I know that it'll be absolutely perfect in whatever form it shows up. And that as a result of that, we're going to grow. It certainly won't hurt to bring the median age down. That won't be a bad thing. So, folks, please join me in prayer as we get ready to close out. We know that love is all there is, and that God is love. And because God has become each and every one of us as unique expressions, we are love. We are unconditional spiritual love, perfect, whole, and complete in every way. We know that we have that sacred mission within for each and every one of us. And we're so blessed to have each other and to have everyone in our lives to support us, to fulfill that mission, that divine purpose that we were sent here to fulfill. We know that there are no conditions that love can't help us overcome. We know that love is all there is, and that we have more than enough love to radiate out into the world. We can give love in an unlimited supply because we are tapped into an unlimited supply. We're so grateful for these opportunities to do this. And we know that anything that takes place, no matter what it is information and data. It's up to us to put the meaning into it. And we question. We question everything. We turn those things around that feel heavy, that don't serve us. We run away from nothing. We meet everything with calm confidence, abiding faith, and absolute trust that God is all there is, and that we will come through any and all things better able to express the love that we are, to live up to that potential that we've been built with, and to offer ease, offer grace, knowing that these are available to us in unlimited supplies. I give thanks for all that has taken place. I give thanks for this present moment, and I give thanks for all the moments yet to be, knowing that it is all good, it is all God. And release these words in the divine law where they're already done. I let these things go, I let them be. Together we affirm, and so it is.
I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me.
I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall. You may not think that I care for you, and you know deep inside that I really do. And it's free, you need to show. How deep is your love?
Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to, come on and sing it everybody. Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me.
Is your love?
How deep is your love?
Need to learn.
'Cause I really need to learn in the fools. Oh, they're breaking us down. Let us be.